Alright, so I'm heading to the market. I'm gonna show you guys the market here in Nice, France, and do a little bit of shopping as well. Not really a big haul today, but just want to go there, show you guys what's up, and get a few things. So we are back home from the market. It's difficult to film at the same time as I'm doing my shopping, so that's why I showed you the market, and now I'm going to show you what I got and talk a little bit about it. So first of all, let's just establish the fact that when you're outside the tropics as a fruit eater, there ain't no food, okay? Even in a market like this, I'm impressed with this market. This is an excellent market. Big, lots of variety. Lots of volume, you know, there's a lot of volume there. It's a really good market. I think every city, every place in the world should have something like this. In Norway, we don't have anything like that, which is strange. But okay, really good market. But you know, it's March actually now. It's March in Europe, and so there's not much to eat for fruit-loving fanatics like myself, and really humans, you know. Humans are tropical frugivores, so we thrive on tropical fruit. And when I'm in Thailand, when I'm in Costa Rica, when I'm in tropical places, even subtropical ones, there's just, wow, the abundance, like mangoes, papayas, bananas, plantains, jackfruit, durian. I mean, it's just the quality and the amount of food in the tropics is amazing. It's just, I go nuts on those markets. I just buy kilos and kilos and kilos of mangoes. I buy mangoes by the crate, you know what I mean? So that's how I like to do my shopping, of course, ideally. But here I am in Europe, and I love it. I'm having a great time here in Nice. I love my life right now. But of course, fruit-wise, it's not really ideal. So just off the bat, yes, there's apples there, but you know, every time I try an apple, it's kind of like, you know, it doesn't really satisfy my needs as much. I might have an apple here or there. All the oranges, I keep trying the oranges, and yeah, sometimes sort of good, most of the time not. And it's not really it doesn't pack as strong of a punch as something like bananas do. So I tend to just rely on bananas, and on the whole market there, I look around and I really can't find anything that I would consider real food except bananas. All of the sort of temperate fruits, pears, apples, yeah, I don't really find them sustainable. I don't recommend people sustain themselves on those foods. They're not really optimal nutritionally speaking either. And then there's just a ton of vegetables, and I'm not really into vegetables that much. Nowadays though, of course, because I'm including some cooked items in my diet, I do go to the vegetables a little bit as well, the green vegetables as well as the root vegetables. So that's nice to have a really good selection of that, but in general, I don't go to the market, and this is true even when I'm in the tropics. I don't really buy a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, and go around buying a little bit of everything. I just buy a lot of what I'm actually eating. So I'll just buy a lot of bananas, and right now I'll just buy a lot of sweet potatoes. And a little bit here and there of other items, but mostly I'll just focus on those foods that I'm actually eating, that I'm getting the majority of my calories from. So let's get to, what I bought. Today wasn't really a big haul. It was a very small haul. I have my banana stash up there, I'll show you soon. So I didn't really need to buy a lot of food. I also have the fridge full of sweet potatoes, so not really necessary. All right, first off, a little just taste really. I just bought a few oranges. They smelled all right. They looked okay to me. They smelled all right. They were from Italy, so I thought I'll give it a try. I have a few other oranges over here. Pretty much similar kind of thing. Yeah, I'm gonna try and see if I can make that work. Every time I try and eat oranges, I sort of end up wanting to juice them eventually, and I see a lot of people doing that. They juice their oranges, and there's a reason for that. I personally I like a little bit more creamy food, a little bit more dense, like bananas and papayas and mangoes even. That's why I always find oranges, citrus fruits in general, to not be as satisfying. Even if they're not sour at all, which they shouldn't be, and even if they're super sweet, they're still kind of like, I don't know, my personal preference. If you can find good oranges, go ahead, they're great. Yeah, I also have some apples here and some figs, dried figs. So that's my little snack stash, we could call it. Next up, we got these little broccolini, I think they call it, from Italy again. It's broccoli basically, just a little bit more tender, a little younger. I cook it. It's a nice supplemental food, I would say, on a diet where I'm not eating papayas and mangoes and those really perfectly nutritious fruits, I would say. Eating a little bit of cooked greens, or raw greens if you so prefer. I don't really like how it digests when I'm eating raw, even lettuce, and I don't like the taste for sure, but cooked broccoli, cooked cauliflower, I love the taste of that. And it fills the gaps a little bit, nutritionally speaking, vitamin K, that sort of thing. Otherwise, if you're eating papayas and mangoes and those fruits, you don't really need to worry about those vitamins, those nutrients, because they're in there in abundance. But bananas tend to come short a little bit, and sweet potatoes as well. So yeah. Next up, we got a butternut squash. This one looks epic. The color, I don't know if you can appreciate it. It looks really vibrant. So a little bit of butternut squash for sure. I have more in the fridge, that's why I just bought one, another orange there. And then I just bought a few sweet potatoes. As I said, I have my fridge full. There we go. They looked really good. They still have the dirt on them. I always like that because that just means it's straight out of the soil. No processing or anything like that. I know these. I've had them before. They're really tasty. There's a few different varieties here in town available, so better than Norway sweet potato wise. Yeah, for dinner I'll just basically have sweet potatoes and butternut squash and broccoli. That's pretty much my typical dinner. I also got a bag of dates, and these are good, man. Deglet Nor, insane fresh stuff, man. This is the best. This is the best. Yeah, love myself some dates. But as a snack, I don't really eat them as meals. So it goes in the snack pile. I tend to eat meals and then I snack a little bit in between to sort of fill the gap. If I'm hungry earlier than I was planning on eating dinner, or if lunch wasn't satisfying enough or whatever. And then that's it. I have my banana stash, I'll show you, but I bought some bananas too. Well, actually first there's one apple. I wanted to buy 3 apples, but they're like €1 each almost. Ridiculous, of course, because they're organic. Oh, organic. I'm gonna make a video about organic later, but just for now, I don't think organic is worth it, basically. But looks like a good apple though, so goes in the snack pile. Apple here and there. And then we got bananas, and I want to show you these bananas because they're actually pretty awesome. These ones in particular are from the the Ivory Coast, which is a country in Africa, and that means they're fresher. They're closer to France, so they're less. They don't have to travel as far. You know, when you're buying Costa Rican bananas in Europe, they're coming across the Atlantic Ocean. It's pretty far. It can take months for them to arrive. Whereas these ones, I'm sure they are fresher and they look better and they taste way better. The African bananas here in France just taste way better than the Caribbean, Central American ones. So I like the look of those. They're fat, they're big. You know, they look well developed. Learn more about bananas and how to know whether they're ripe or whether they're good and that sort of thing in my little banana book. Check that out. And also some ripe ones, some almost ripe ones anyway, that I'm gonna add to my stash because I'm gonna run out of ripe ones in maybe a day or two. Having a good rotation on your bananas is very important in order to succeed on a fruit-based diet, and I talk about that in the little banana book, how to basically make it work, how to get that rotation going, and when to know whether or not it's ripe, how to speed up ripening, slow down ripening, that sort of thing. Let's have a look at the banana stash. Up there at the top, we got ripe bananas there at the end, a couple of meals worth, and then going into the more unripe ones and the very unripe ones there. So that'll ripen over the course of a few days, you know, and I'll keep adding unripe ones and sort of move them along, and that's sort of how I do things. So that's it for today. That's it, and that's my small little fruit haul. Really good market here in this. Of course, as usual, whenever you're outside of the tropics, any market, even the best one like this one, isn't really a good market because you're just too far away from the tropical fruit. You know, they had some mangoes there, air shipped in. They looked pretty good, but they're like 10 euro per kilo. It's just not something I'm going to prioritize right now. And so, yeah, you got to be in the tropics if you want the best when it comes to fruit. But you know, relying on bananas works pretty well. Eating some cooked roots and tubers, especially sweet potato, almost exclusively sweet potato actually, works pretty well. Some squash and some supplemental green vegetables in there for good measure. Yeah, it works pretty good. Hope you're having an awesome day. Hope you like this little market vlog. Let me know down below where you buy your fruit, what you think about this market, what you're eating these days maybe, and yeah. Thanks for watching. Hope you're having an awesome day, and I will see you around.